Alright, we're going to graph systems of equations. And when you see the word systems of equations, all that means is we're going to be graphing two or more equations together. So it says graph each system of linear equations. So we're going to have lines. Then state the ordered pair. So we're going to have an answer of x comma y. Where they intersect, or where the lines cross. If they do not cross, state none. So let's graph this first line. Y equals 1/3 x plus 4. Now this line is already written in y equals mx plus b form, and so that's going to make it easy for us. So we're going to start by identifying the b, and so we have a b of 4, so that means it touches the y-intercept at 4, and then it has a slope, an m of 1/3. So it means we're going to go up 1 over 3. So we go up 1 over 3, draw a dot. Up 1 over 3, draw a dot. And it's really important that when you're trying to solve these systems by graphing, that you carry out your slope from border to border. So now I'm just going the opposite, down 1, to the left 3. And here's my line. Now let's graph the other one. Now this one we have a y-intercept of -1. So now we go down on our y-intercept. And now this one has a slope of -4/3. And when you're graphing a negative slope, it's important to only make one of the numbers negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the top number negative and have the bottom number be positive. That way it stays a negative, because a negative divided by a positive is a negative. So I'm going to go down 4 over 3, draw my dot. Now as you can see, as I'm going down 4 over 3, I'm not getting closer to the other line. So that means I want to try going the other way. So I'm going to go up 4, to the left 3, and see what happens is the two lines cross, and they happen to cross on a nice ordered pair. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw that line. So that means that the two lines cross right here. So we're going to write our ordered pair, x comma y. And so this is our x-axis, so we start at 0. I need to get to this point. So now I'm going to go to the left 3. That's going to be -3. And now to get to that point, I have to go up 1, 2, 3, so now I have to go plus 3. And so that ordered pair is -3, 3. So we call -3, 3 the solution. It's where the two lines cross. Alright, let's look at another example. We're going to do the same thing. We're given these two equations in y equals mx plus b form, and so we're just going to graph them. And so this equation looks a little different because it just says y equals -2, and there's no x. And so this equation is really y equals 0x minus 2. And so it does have a slope. The slope is just 0. So let's go ahead and start by graphing this first one. So it has a y-intercept of -2. We go down to -2. Then it has a slope, the number in front of the x is 0. So all that means is that we're going to go up 0 over 1. So up 0 over 1, up 0 over 1. And so you can see this is just a horizontal line. so I couldn't get the line to line up, so I'm just going to draw it. So here's our line, y equals -2. Now let's graph our other line. We have a positive 4. So we go up to 4 in our y-axis. And now our slope is -3. And here's our slope, -3/2. And just like before, we want to make one of these numbers negative. So I'm going to make the top number negative, leave the bottom number positive. So I'm going to go down 3/2, down 3/2. And so you can see that the two lines are going to touch. Now let's graph it. And so it looks like the two lines touch right here. So we're going to write our ordered pair, x comma y. So I'm going to start here at the 0, 0, and I'm going to have to go 4 spaces to the left. So it's positive 4. Then I'm going to have to go 2 spaces down. So it's 4 comma -2. Alright, let's look at our last example. So as you look at these equations, you should notice that they're not in slope-intercept form. The y equals mx plus b. And so we're going to just rewrite them. And we're going to solve both equations for y. And so what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and I want you to try to solve it on your own. So you're going to move the 3x over, then get rid of the -2. And after you try it, come back and check your answer. Alright, let's see how we did. So we're going to minus the 3x here. So even though we write it underneath the 2, we're not going to combine those two. Make sure you bring this negative down, so it's -2y equals, again, this has an x, this doesn't, so we're going to write the x first, -3x minus 2. Now we need to get rid of the -2 in front of the y, so we divide both sides by -2. So the -2's go away, and so now I get y equals, now a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so I get 3/2x. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, positive 1. So hopefully you paused the video, you came back, and you have the same answer. So now let's check the other one. So we need to move that x over, so we're going to minus x from both sides. So these cancel out, and so I get 2y equals, again, we're not going to combine those because they're not like, -x minus 6. Now we need to get rid of that 2 in front, so it's saying 2 times y, so the opposite of times is divide, so we divide everything by 2. So these 2's cancel, and I get y equals. Now what you want to do is you want to remember that there's a 1 here, and so this becomes -1/2x. This is a minus divided by a positive, so it's going to stay minus. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So hopefully you came up with the same answers. Then let's try the same thing now. I want you to try to graph these on your own and see if you agree with my answer. So pause the video and then come back and check your work. Alright, so let's graph this first one. Let's start with our y-intercept of +1. And our slope is +3/2. So we're going to go up 3/2, up 3/2, up 3/2, and now we're going to do the opposite. So the opposite of positive 3, positive 2 is negative 3, negative 2. And you can see by when we do the opposite, our line is still going up. Okay, now let's draw our line. Now let's do the other line. Alright, so we have a slope, or sorry, a y-intercept here of negative 3. And we have a slope of negative 1 over 2. So we go down 1 over 2. And right away you can see we're going the wrong way. We need to try going to the left to hit our line. So go back to your y-intercept and do the opposite. Go up 1, back 2, and you can see we land right on that dot, which is what we wanted. And now we can draw our line. And so our lines do cross. So if I start here at 0, 0, I need to go to the left 2, so negative 2, and I have to go down 2. So our answer here is going to be negative 2, comma, negative 2. So hopefully you paused the video, you came back, you checked, we have the same work, and everyone's happy.